these comedies might not get the last laugh. Hey everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome to Watch Mojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 comedy movies that might suck in 2020.
What is he doing? This looks like the wedding at the end of Shrek.
That means we're looking at films that are meant to be funny and are set to be released in 2020, whose premises, previews, or production issues have us seriously worried about their quality. Alright, let's check it out. Number 10, Free Guy. Release date, July 3rd, 2020. Free Guy will see Ryan Reynolds playing a goofy character named Guy. After Guy realizes he's living in the fictional world of a video game, he bounces between action set pieces while cracking plenty of jokes.
Is this what recreational drugs feel like?
If this setup sounds familiar, then you've probably seen Deadpool. The Free Guy trailer doubles down on the Deadpool comparisons by emphasizing its over-the-top violence and black comedy. Although we love Reynolds' R-rated anti-hero, we don't want to see him do the same type of movie again and again.
He's just resting.
In pieces! That man is dead!
He's so sleepy.
Hopefully this film's premise ends up being really solid and the marketing department is just playing up Reynolds' marvelous past success to sell tickets. But if it's only trying to imitate Deadpool, this comedy may find itself 6 feet underground with audiences.
Is that a Glock in your pocket?
No,
What?
it's 2 Glocks. Oh!
Number 9, Hooking Up. Release date, March 20th, 2020. Have you been waiting for a comedy that tackles both sex addiction and testicular cancer? Well, your weirdly specific wait is finally over.
Is me?
Sir, I think you're mistaken.
No. I got testicular cancer. My junk is being sent to the nether realms.
Man, do you have the wrong room?
Whoops.
In Hooking Up, Darla's sex addiction gets her fired from her reporting job. After meeting a testicular cancer patient named Bailey, she formulates a plan to win her job back. Darla will relive her past hookup experiences with Bailey and write an article about it.
You want to revisit all your past romps with me?
For my therapy.
Aren't you supposed to not be having sex?
You could have one last hurrah.
I don't even know you.
We might have been willing to look past the trailer's bizarre premise if it wasn't for one minor detail. Darla tells Bailey the risque road trip is therapy for her addiction. A movie where someone with psychological issues uses and lies to a cancer patient sounds more like a sadistic drama than a comedy.
Where are we?
It's my parents' house. Welcome.
Number 8, The Witches. Release date, October 9th, 2020. Author Roald Dahl's The Witches is a dark children's novel about the titular group of witches who cause trouble for those people who aren't like them, such as turning children into mice. Although the 1990 movie adaptation received solid reviews, it was a box office bomb that Dahl himself disapproved of.
Little boys love snakes.
30 years later, director Robert Zemeckis is set to remake The Witches with Anne Hathaway in the lead role. But those big names are another cause for concern. Hathaway's last attempt at comedy gave us the critically panned The Hustle.
No thanks, I work alone.
Meanwhile, Robert Zemeckis' last film, Welcome to Marwen, managed to squander a good premise and a fantastic lead actor.
The women of Marwen are the women who guard the village. And they have gathered at the bar. And they haven't seen Hoagie in a while.
Has anyone seen Hoagie?
Between The Witch's troubled history with audiences and the recent failures of its main creatives, this remake may already be cursed.
Do I make myself clear?
Number 7, The King of Staten Island. Release date, June 19th, 2020.
The reason Staten Island hates me is because I represent what they are. You know, a mentally ill community college dropout who got a Game of Thrones tattoo before watching the show.
Pete Davidson is set to star in a comedy with a surprisingly dramatic premise. In The King of Staten Island, Davidson will play a young man who has trouble moving forward in life due to the trauma of losing his father at a young age. The film will take inspiration from the comedian's real-life struggles with losing his father in 9/11.
My dad, he died 9/11. I was told I had to explain that before I do these jokes because some people don't know, to which I retorted that I don't think I should say that because it will just stop the show and make things awkward.
While the sobering and personal storyline promises compelling drama, we're unsure if it should be marketed as a comedy.
And I was like 7 when my dad died, so like kids don't understand that shit. They don't know what's going on, right? So I remember I got the pool and kids at school be like, "Yo, you're so lucky, man. You're rich. You have a pool, you know?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, luckily I have a pool that I fill up with tears every summer."
Its serious premise could turn off audience members looking for a lighthearted flick. But the more important question is, can they really make a reportedly semi-autobiographical movie about Davidson processing grief into a comedy?
It's maybe something I said in an interview once, that I wished that when Hurricane Sandy hit Staten Island, it had finished the job.
Number 6, Irresistible. Release date, May 29th, 2020. In Irresistible, an out-of-touch Democratic consultant tries to get a veteran elected as the mayor of a small right-wing town.
I am telling you guys, Jack could be the real deal. This little campaign of ours has caught the attention of the National Republican Party.
Although the movie has the writing and directing talent of Jon Stewart and the mostly reliable comedic chops of Steve Carell, the trailer looks less than promising.
Colonel Jack Hastings is our key back into the great now swing state of Wisconsin. He just doesn't know it yet.
The political message is pushed so hard that even the most liberal moviegoers might find it preachy. There's also a gag about harassment that feels extremely outdated in 2020.
It's good to see you.
Yeah.
You look fat.
And despite featuring no actors of color with speaking lines, the trailer also goes for a lame joke about appealing to minorities.
Don't put all the black ones in the center. He's running as a moderate.
If this disappointing preview is indicative of the full movie, then we will resist the urge to buy a ticket. Number 5, Minions: The Rise of Gru. Release date, July 3rd, 2020. Although Minions only received a 55% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, its billion-dollar box office earnings ensured we had not seen the last of the babbling yellow menaces. In July, they'll return to help a young Gru impress a supervillain group. Our feeble hopes that this movie could make the franchise feel fresh were immediately dashed after being given a preview of just a few minutes of it.
There's that little face! Go, go, go!
The trailer is packed with an obnoxious amount of slow-mo action scenes, selfish characters, and dim-witted minion hijinks. The previous movies in the franchise at least tried to present a heartwarming message underneath the comedy. Minions: The Rise of Gru looks devoid of originality, heart, or any laughs.
Did you just trade my future for a pet rock? See?
Number 4, Peter Rabbit 2: The Runaway. Release date, April 3rd, 2020.
I didn't realize I was with a bunch of sophisticates.
Despite James Corden's best efforts in the voiceover booth, his Peter Rabbit character was criticized for being mean-spirited in the first movie. In one scene, he pelts his frenemy Thomas with blackberries until he had an allergic reaction.
That should do it.
Unfortunately, the sequel's trailer suggests the rabbit has not improved much. After Peter becomes worried that Thomas will outgrow their friendship, he leads his fellow animals to steal from a farmer's market.
This sounds a bit dodgy. I would never put you in danger. I promise. Okay, I can't promise. We're gonna go and rob this place. Are you in or are you out?
When some of the creatures are captured by animal control, the rabbit has to save them all. Even if we put aside the fact that the trailer gives away the entire plot, seeing Peter cause the movie's main conflict is hard to ignore. Can we get a movie where Peter has a less rotten personality? Number 3, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Release date, August 28th, 2020. The plot of The Hitman's Bodyguard was pretty simple. Sam Jackson plays a hitman who needs the help of a bodyguard played by Ryan Reynolds, and hijinks ensue.
There are no surprises.
Although Reynolds and Jackson had some decent scenes together, underwhelming dialogue and awkward tone shifts between silly comedy and hard-hitting drama held the movie back.
Nobody.
I saw the sign.
Nobody.
Open your eyes, I saw the sign.
Despite only receiving a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes, the film's getting an awkwardly titled sequel. In The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, Reynolds' bodyguard needs to protect the hitman's, well, you get the idea. The premise behind The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard sounds lazy, and the first film hasn't inspired a lot of confidence in the franchise. While we'd love to see Reynolds and Jackson work together, we wish they'd pick a stronger concept.
See? Boring is better.
Number 2, Bad Trip. Release date, April 24th, 2020. Eric Andre has become famous for his weird and unpredictable brand of comedy on his self-titled show. When we heard he'd be getting a movie, we were ready for something one of a kind. But the trailers for Bad Trip presented a strangely tired concept.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was open.
The movie appears to be a series of hidden camera pranks tied together with a loose road trip narrative.
Let's steal that goddamn car and go to New York and have the adventure of a lifetime.
While some of the stunts look ambitious, they still pale in comparison to the average episode of Jackass. And the fact that the movie was pushed back from last fall is another bad sign. As much as we'd love seeing Eric Andre on the big screen, we're not sure if a hidden camera comedy was the best way for him to get there.
What y'all looking at? Mind your goddamn business. I'm from the street.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, My Spy. Release date, March 13th, 2020.
I can smell a lie. Endorphins release an odor, and the ultimate tell, the slightest blink of an eye.
You mean like this? JJ, I admire all of your tattoos.
Stop.
If it feels like My Spy was supposed to come out ages ago, you would be 100% right. Although it was originally slated for an August 2019 release, STX Films pushed the release date back twice.
If Kim finds out we got made by a 9-year-old, my career's over.
What's the option?
Kill her. Make it look like an accident. Yeah, maybe the stairs.
What? Wow, still recording.
Over a year after its trailer started playing in theaters, the long-delayed My Spy is arriving in March. The movie will see Dave Bautista playing a no-nonsense CIA agent that has to learn how to loosen up while protecting a precocious child.
I want you to teach me how to be a spy.
But just to be clear, this is a one-time arrangement. Never again.
Pinky promise.
We've already seen a plot like this done in everything from Kindergarten Cop to The Pacifier. And audiences are bound to find the jokes they've been forced to see in trailers for over a year outdated and stale in the final product. Is it too late to dump My Spy onto Netflix?
When you look out there, what do you see?
90 civilians, minimal security, soft perimeter.
Smiling people having fun. You should try it sometime.
I actually think that a lot of these might be decent. Well, maybe not a lot of them, but some of them. You know what you should do? In the comments, you should list them all and with like a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you think it's going to be good. And it's like a pool, so whoever wins bragging rights, I guess. I don't know. We have no prize. But anyway, so let us know in the comments or come tell me on my YouTube channel or on Twitter or Instagram at Rebecca Brayton. Also, please watch this other video.